Okay, we will continue with the quantum experiment. This quantum experiment was discovered long back, and the experiment is practically observable by many scientist groups, but the observation of the experiment is still a mystery to most of the scientists and scientific community. Now I am giving a real understanding of what this experiment is providing, and why this experiment became a big mystery. Now here, see what. First, I'll explain what the experiment is. In this experiment, electron particles are accelerated through double slit. So there is a hole in the second screen, and through that hole this electron is supposed to pass, and it will go and it will strike on another screen which is present behind it. Now, what does this quantum experiment or double slit experiment proves is when the electron particle is accelerated, when there is no observer. Understand, when there is no observer means somebody is watching the experiment. Okay, if there is someone who is watching, what happens is like the electron passes only through these slits. But in case there is no observer, no one is watching, what happens is like those electron particles pass through the entire screen. Meaning, even if there is no slit, you remove this and you put another screen with no slits, no hole in the screen, still the particle will pass through that and it will strike the screen which is present behind. So how does this happen? Only the presence of the observer changes the way the experiment is looked. Now I'll make it more clearer for you, and then I'll explain it in detail. Here, see, double slit experiment. What is happening when the electrons are passed through this slit? It will form a beam on the next screen. Meaning, the electron particles are passing only through the hole that are present. Now, here you have another wave particle. Now, what is happening is when there is no observer, what happens is like this electron that is accelerated, or here like so they have taken. Don't be confused. Again, the same experiment. The same thing, I'm just representing it to you. Here you have what I'm representing here is here, see, it is passing through this electron. These are electron particles. Okay, it is passing even where there is no hole. Now here, what this experiment proves is if there are no observer, the electron particle just passes through any material that is present, any screen that so a wall or the boundary does not exist if there is no observer that is watching. boundary do not exist. So now, how does this happen? If there is no one watching, the boundary do not exist. Oh, I'll explain it, and later on I'll see. The design of the manifestation. Understand, the design of the manifestation is in such a way that it happens inside your brain first, and then it happens on the particle. You getting the point? So see, what happens is like, whenever, see, it's a general human understanding or general observation and observational understanding. What happens is like, whenever you put any observer, whenever an observer sees the slit and electron gun through which the particle is accelerated, he will always assume, forget about assumption. Now, it is not assumption, it is his belief. Now, it is his belief that those electron particles, since they are particles, they will pass through only those through those beams, and then they will strike on the other screen. But in case you remove the observer, there is no observation. Now, that electron particle is left on its own. Now, there is no one who is watching and no one's brain that is interfering with its function. So, if the electron particle is not assumed by someone or not seen by someone, it will move in the form of wave. Meaning, it will just pass through the entire electron particles. Billions of electron particles will just pass through the entire screen. It will not see the holes or look out for holes through which it should pass. It will just pass through any place possible. Okay, so wherever it will strike, it will just pass here. Now, wherever it will strike, it will just pass through and it behaves as if it's a wave, not a particle. Now, how does this happen? An electron start to behave like a wave, not a particle, or sorry. Let me. This is where I am putting a confusion in your head. This is the experimental confusion. The researcher have put the experiment. See, they start to see those electrons in the form of waves, since it is just passing through the screen anyhow. But in reality, see, again, what is passing is particle itself. The real nature of the particle is to pass through it does not hold any boundary. Electron particle can just pass through any screen that is present, and it can just pass through and enter into the other. That is the true nature of electron that is present. Now, when we do the observation, what happens is like when we are observing, we see two holes, S1, S2 given here. So the two holes. Now what is happening is the particle will only pass through that two hole. That is what is our assumption, because we see the particle of the electron as a particle. Now, once you generate a higher understanding, and once you start to see those electron particles, let me put it this way, once you start to see those electron particles, not the beam. See, in reality, when we see the electron particle accelerator gun, which is present, so you will see the beam of light that is passing, not electron particle. But when you start to see those particles, you will see that those particles are the wave, and the wave are the particles. Both start to behave in one. It's the way you look at it. When you start to look electron as a particle, it will behave like a particle. And when you start to when you don't look, for that matter, when you do, because you consider electron as a particle. So as per the scientific understanding, or as per the conscious that we see, this is the observation. Okay, now it will behave like a particle. Now I'll go to the higher dimension of it. Why does this happen, and what are the reality behind it? No. Oh, maybe. Oh. Okay, so now what I want to present is, see, anything that you see, there is some observation. See, the highest authority, the God, the highest authority, he says that I have created this entire everything that is present, sarvam, in the universe. You understand as the universe. Universe is a very small understanding. Sarvam is everything that is higher and too huge, very big compared to that of universe that you understand. Universe is a very small element. See, it is a visible element, the matter. Visible element through your two eyes, what you see is what you consider, but there are higher elements that are present. Now, what I want to present here is what you see is what gets manifested in this Bhuloka. Bhuloka is all the visible components that are present. See, even the electron particles, if you are able to see it somehow or the other, whether it's Microsoft or anything, if you are able to see it through your two eyes, and then there is a prakash element, your own light, and when you start to see things through your own light, that is what is called as seeing by yourself, or opening your enlightenment. Okay, so leaving that thing aside. Now, when you see through your two eyes, electron beam that you are seeing in, or the entire Bhuloka, that is seen by your two eyes. Okay, so the entire universe that these modern scientists or modern researchers what they consider is this just the Bhuloka, which is a very small aspect of what Sarvam is. Bhuloka is one loka of this cosmos. Or Brahman, and Sarvam is many times larger than that of this Brahman, as you know. So Sarvam is a huge thing, and Brahman is a small one. Even the Brahman, in that Brahman, what you're looking out for is Bhuloka. In that Bhuloka, what you're looking out for is just a cosmos of the universe, which is again very small. So the understanding that you all are carrying is of that universe, and that universe in that coming to the quantum experiment of visible, what you see is what gets manifested. So whatever is seen on planet Earth is seen in the mind of the people. So see, the infrastructure that you see, the economic, the currency, the religious system, the culture, the tradition, the customs, and everything for that matter, it is seen in the mind of the people. The first thing that it arises in the mind of the people, and then that mind, when it starts to produce it physically by your hand, like when you start to produce it, then you manifest it, and it is visible by you and by the other people. Now what happens when a certain thought current or certain condition remains functioning for a longer period of time? It becomes a belief system, or it becomes a belief. Now that belief set inside the minds of everyone, minds of every people that are present, or the collective conscious is what is called. The collective conscious of the world is believe that the particle will behave like this. It will behave. Any observer, you put any observer, whether that observer knows or not, does not know, for that matter, just leave that. But the overall the collective conscious, if the collective conscious believes that this is the way the particle would behave, whenever you put any observer, that is the way it will believe, it will behave. So see, understand the functioning. What you see in this entire world is nothing but it is seen. It is a collective conscious of the people who are there, who are not there, for that matter. Okay, so right from the generations to the generations, the people of all the people who were either enlightened or non-enlightened people, the way they have seen the picture of the world at different locations, at different places, the way they have seen the picture of their nation, the picture of the world, the picture of their state, their home, depending on how big, how small the person is. The person who is leading the world, he will see the picture of the world, and that is how he will start manifesting, and that that becomes a collective conscious. Now that collective conscious, the way the collective conscious sees certain things, that is the way it is seen, and that is what even the collective conscious becomes a belief system. Now this whole universal functioning is happening or running, or not running for that matter. It's happening, or the way it is seen, or it is manifested. The manifestation, especially the manifestation, is dependent on your manifestation, how you manifest, or how you manifest. How people manifest in this world, that manifestation is dependent on this belief system that we carry. Slightly complicated, but just understand this world, the whole world as a collective conscious. Now in this collective conscious, there are some testaments, and then there are certain sanction, then there are certain constitution, then there are certain local laws, and then there are certain custom laws, then there are custom tradition. Or see, all these things put together, these things are seen by people. Okay, so all these things that are seen, that is what is presented, that is what is there in the entire world. So when you start to see differently, the moment you start to see the picture of the world, the reality, see, it will start changing. See, what I'm trying to do, is producing that eye, or giving the eye to the people, the third eye, and now this eye will start seeing the things in the way it is. It is called as totality. See, in totality or in reality, See, understand? I'm talking about the reality. I'm talking about the reality. This is an utter delusion. What we are living in, the belief system that is created, and the manifestation that is happened, and what you see in the entire world. This is one of the biggest illusion. That is the way it is. No, that is the way it is because you have created that belief system. This is the way it should be. Okay, so it is registered inside your belief system. If that belief system is changed, you getting the point? If that belief system is changing, the entire manifestation will change. Okay, so that is what I wanted to convey through this video. I'll end here.